Are you trying to build the best team in Madden? Well, head on over to instantmuttcoins.com to avoid the packs, save some racks. Link is in the description below. Use code CC now for 20% off. Hey, what is going on, Madden family? We're here today, and we are doing just a little bit of funness with this, okay? And we're going to be the MUT MVPs so far up to this point in the year, because we're hitting Zero Chill very soon, which is a huge promo, and then everything is going to take a really gigantic leap as we hit playoffs and Super Bowl and so on and so forth. It grows by a lot. But we've been through a lot in MUT this year, and I want to go through and let's make a team full of the MUT MVPs. These are the cards that really defined the beginning of the year. Were great, so we're going to do that. We're going to take a look at it, and then what you guys want to do too. If you want to take a screenshot and send it to me on Twitter, let me know who yours are. By all means, feel free to do so. But let's get into this today, okay? So I'm not gonna do offensive line. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Don't get mad. Okay. Now, these aren't necessarily the best cards out currently, but this card had like a long lifespan, or sort of changed the way we played the game, or stuff like that. Now, so tight end. To me, there is one card, and he stuck out, and it's Darren Waller. We all wanted Waller. Everybody wanted some Waller for sure, right? I mean, we still want him to get like an upgrade on a card. Now, as far as some of these other smaller tight ends, Jermichael Finley is the other one. Okay, so we're gonna have two tight ends. Jermichael Finley was the guy in the beginning of the year. Waller was sort of the mid-year guy. We can get two on here. We're gonna put two on here. I'm not gonna do a third one, but Waller and Finley, they sort of led the way. Vernon Davis helped take over a little bit. Chris Cooley down at the end, but not a long enough stand in here for us. Okay, not long enough. Now, as we're gonna roll down here, let's think of quarterback. Who was the quarterbacks that really helped define the game? Did you ever think we wouldn't be using Michael Vick? I didn't think so. Brett Favre is QB1 so far this year. 100% he is. 100%. We used Lamar early on. We used Vick early on. Once Favre came out, we found out Gunslinger. Well, a lot of people have stuck with Gunslinger. Now, whether you use Culpepper or Josh Allen now, that's sort of up to you. We had some other guys come through here that people used. Stafford was used for a bit. You've seen some Cunningham. You've seen McNair. I think Joe Montana had a bit of a lifespan there, but Dan Marino was a quarterback for people a lot as well. And it really just fluctuates so much between these other quarterbacks that they don't really stand out as much to me. Okay? They don't. I've seen a little bit of them all. But the Gunslinger is sort of, it's it. Now, running back, when we came into this, I'm not putting Barry Sanders one. To me, there's one guy. Reggie Bush, right? The backfield master. You play him all the time. I know you do. He's been out forever, and you're still using him, right? That is okay. That's right. Now, running back 2, Barry obviously was really, before we had the backfield master, we knew what it really would do for us. Barry was the guy everyone used. Again, no problems there. Wide receivers, we're going to do 3. Again, these aren't really necessarily in order of wide receiver 1, 2, 3. But to me, again, this could differ for us, but these were the cards that really sort of stood out and was like, oh, okay. And first one was Brandon Cooks, right? The 90 deep route running, the speed, everything about that card. Everyone wanted that card. The second wide receiver, again, he's not the best receiver in the game right now. Because I don't think Tyreek didn't feel overly special for too long. Okay. But Tyrone Calico came around, and bam. Now we hit the big receiver there. A really big receiver. Now, for wide receiver 3, a lot of these guys you've played against, and a lot of these guys you've used. Some of them I've used, some of them I haven't used. But I think Scary Terry is the third one, right? Now, Tyreek just got his upgrade, and Tyreek wasn't really used for a while, but Terry is still right there. And Terry has been there for 5 or 6 weeks. Terry's the guy. Terry's the guy for sure. For sure. Now, fullback, we'll do it just because it's Mike Allstott. Everyone uses Mike Allstott, right? Everybody uses Mike Allstott. We all do. I think that's a pretty good offense. I mean, it's not really super usable right now, but it is a very good offense. Now, defensively here, we're scrolling down. Free safety. Now, I'm going to only use players in their actual positions here. I don't want to move people around because then you would just be able to pick a bunch of people that would really sort of fit what you wanted to do. And free safety was kind of a weak position overall, especially early on. A lot of us, we used people who got free safety as a secondary position, which is totally fine. But I think, to me personally, who I saw the most and a lot of people really used was Micah Hyde. Again, he probably didn't play free safety for you, and that's okay. But free safety, again, it was a weak position. Not a lot of people liked the Steve Atwater. You didn't see a lot of these other cards. Marcus May is okay. Minka's okay. You saw some Weddle early on as well, but you didn't. You saw strong safeties at free safety. Okay, like you just did. You know we did. So it's really hard. Cliff Harris running a lot. Meh. They're all okay. Devin McCourty. Meh. When Hyde came out, he was 99 zone. He was kind of the guy. Now, strong safety. Number one has to be Taylor Mays, right? Taylor Mays. He's still good. Like Reggie Bush, he is still good. Now, again, there's a lot of these other guys that were used very early on. I'm going to go with Isaiah Simmons here. Obviously, he's not the best card in the game or anything like that, but he was the guy for like 6 weeks, 8 weeks. If you didn't have Isaiah Simmons, what were you doing, right? Again, there's plenty of other safeties that have come along. It's the deepest position I think we have in the game. But, hey, you know, it is what it is. Now, linebacker. I'm not going to put Sam Mills in here because... do we even need to do linebackers? Some people use linebackers. They do. It would be Sam Mills. So we'll put Master Sam Mills in at middle linebacker. That's fair. He's the one. He's the guy you see at left outside linebacker. A lot of these guys I can use a lot of. Now for me, TJ Watt was incredibly good. And he was out super early on. We didn't have a lot of these other really good linebackers out here. But the guy that I've seen definitely the most of is Ricky Jackson. More than Vaughn, more than Khalil Mack, it was Ricky Jackson. Once he came into the game, he stayed in the game, and he's still on so many people's teams. I have no problem there. Right outside linebacker. Again, to me, it's still going to be Lawrence Taylor. He has been surpassed by a Derek Thomas, right? And you could put Derek, I feel comfortable putting Derek Thomas in there. It's either one of those guys. That is who we have used. Facts. Just facts. Now we go to the defensive line here. This is right end 1. Again, who were we really using? Well, early on, we all used Richard Seymour, I think, and Myles Garrett, but they were just there for a little bit. Who is still on your team? Probably Aaron Donald, and you're not surprised by that, right? As for a secondary one, Dwight Freeney, since he's come out, has been absolutely everywhere, wrecking people. Dwight Freeney is great. Left end, again, not everywhere. He's not everywhere for people, but you saw a lot of these cards. I mean, you've played against a lot of these cards too, and I used them all. And to me, this position is one that I'm constantly in flux with, for sure. And I don't really know who I would go with here. I think I've seen the most Jack Youngblood, potentially, so we'll put him in there. But I think this position is wide open. It's wide open. A lot of times you're using your right ends at left ends just because they're not as good. Now D tackle, again, not a lot of people using D tackle. Not a lot of people are. Early in the year, we saw a lot of Merlin Olsen. for sure. But really, it's any one of these guys that you will come up against. I still don't play against Sapp and Buckner a lot. You play Mean Joe and John Randall, Fletcher Cox quite a bit. You could pick any of those guys. For me, I'm going to just go with John Randall. I think that's fair. I think a lot of people always really, really like his guards. Cornerback, this is tricky. The first one I want to do here is Denzel Ward. When he came out, he was the man. You had to have Denzel Ward. If you didn't have Denzel Ward, you were doing it wrong. That's just the truth. CB2. Again, so many corners here, but I'm going to put Deion because he's Deion. He's Deion Sanders. He's still fast. And quarterback 3 is DRC. Right? We could go through and do all 5 quarterbacks because they have all had some form of impact. Nnamdi was up there for a while. The early on, AJ Terrell was everywhere for people. He was. Byron Jones was everywhere for people. So you could put guys like that in there. I just feel like these other 3 had more of an impact, had more of a last on the teams. And like I said, to me, it really is about impact. Like this was a boom, like a big thing, right? And I think all these cards were great. I think you would get the next version of these cards, and I think a lot of people still have these cards on their team now. And that speaks volumes to it because some of these cards have been out for quite a while, and the shelf life of cards in MUT is not normally too long. So that is my team, okay? As my MUT MVPs for the first part of the, I don't want to say half, first part of the year. Let me know yours. Let me know. Tweet it at me. Send me a screenshot. I would appreciate it. But you guys, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Be great. And I'm out. Peace.